And we back. All right. Oh, Super Bowl pick. What's going on? Who you got?
Um,
I owe somebody some money already.
dude,
Shout out to
I'm just
Nick.
gonna go with San Fran, man. I don't know, man. I just want to. They went through their stuff. I always resonate with the teams who just pop up, like they get beat down for years, and then they just get a solid group, like. And it's something you can't see coming. You got a solid group. Y'all just working hard together. Do y'all know y'all gonna go to the Super Bowl? No, and then y'all win one, then y'all win another. Y'all 4-5-0, and then just going through the season, and it's like a destiny. It's like anytime you ever been a part of something great, then you look back like it was happening the whole time. So I think for San Francisco, of course, for you know Kansas City.
I, wa- I'm, well, I lost. Well, it's only a soft $10 to Nick. Oh, by the way, give me a cash app. I'll send it to you, buddy. But now I want the 49ers to win because I know how diehard Nick is. CT. I know how diehard he always been. He always talked about the 49ers and shit.
Yeah.
But my heart of hearts, because I'm an Eagles guy, so then now you got a couple degrees of separation. Andy Reid, you know what I'm saying? So I want Andy Reid to get one, you know what I mean? Because the last time I lost a lot of money on that one, I lost way more than $10. It was like times a couple times 100 type. No, what was 10? That's 1,000. Yeah, close to that number. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in Iraq then, and that's when they played the Patriots. That's when that was To and McNabb when To was hurt or whatever and stuff, and they lost. They fucking dropped that ball literally. But so I want the Chiefs to win, but I ain't no dog in the fight really. So yeah, I mean, as long as it's only like a 1 point spread, so they're really saying it's like a coin toss for real, because they supposed to be both highly active offenses, but I know the 49ers defense is very solid and they healthy and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be no boring shit like a couple years ago when it was when the Broncos got blew the fuck back before he came back and won, but because I was at B-Dubs then, that shit fucking sucked, dude. Like it wasn't even halftime, it was a wrap. It was just like how the fucking Green Bay and 49ers game was last week. Shit, I already knew what was going on with that, man.
Yeah, I want to see the Bay pull it out, man. They be real lucky. That area has been winning championships for the last
They
45
going
years.
E40 loving life, 40 Wizard loving life, baby.
Yeah, for sure. But I definitely like to see them pull it out, man. And
That'd be good.
I'm excited to see if Jay-Z has influenced anything on the entertainment side too. I don't
Well,
know.
it's gonna be it's
I don't know
fucking
if
it's
its
it's
impact is
it's
already.
Shakira and Jennifer Lopez.
Okay. I don't know how much of his impact was in. That's just something I'm gonna look up for myself because his relationship with them was interesting.
Antonio Brown, man. I don't know if you saw the video or whatnot. I mean, it's kind of old. By the time this came out, it's kind of old, but it ain't old because it's still going on or whatever. Hey, man, do you think it's a like a CTE type deal, or do you think it's cockiness, or do you think what I mean, like, what do you? I mean, and it's all assumption or whatever and stuff, but just seeing the videos and seeing how stuff go, whatever the way he been acting as of late, because I don't think he was always like that shit. Like when he was in Pittsburgh and shit, I don't think. Well, he never been on the radar like how he is right now. I mean, like, do you think it's like something mental through football or something like that?
Seeing as now we got the technology to say we being affected mentally through the continuous blunt force trauma of football. Yeah, could it be that? Yeah, could it be an early development and worse than other people? Yeah. Do I know that? No. Do I think something is wrong? Yeah, because I think dude's acting out, and that's why I feel something's wrong because
A cry for attention type deal?
not a cry for attention, but I've seen him have humility in the fact that in his love for football, he apologized and was kind of humble with the Patriots on the departure at first, and he really seemed like he still want to play ball. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that kid got me. I don't know, man. Like I just had this conversation with somebody like yesterday. Like I don't know what's wrong with him, man. Like we can speculate, um, but he's been rash. He's been been in your face. He's been not biting his tongue. He's been kind of saying a lot of things to get under a lot of people's skin.
Right.
I don't understand his angle at this point, especially not playing football. But maybe he has one. I was just gonna let it play out and see what the end, uh, what was the end result was gonna be. I'm just hoping he stay out of jail or out the fucking cemetery because some of that behavior and some of the stuff that he exhibit, especially, I don't know, man. Dude got me confused. I don't know. Something's wrong though.
I agree
I
with
can
that.
agree with you there.
I got you on that. Aaron Hernandez, man. Like, would you watch that doc? I mean, because
Yes.
I listened to one first.
I watched it.
It was one. It was one that was a podcast a little bit ago. But the doc.
I watched it.
Just
I know
watching
that
it.
kind of
You
stuff.
watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a straight documentary guy. I mean, same thing. Like, because seeing his story or whatever, was it? Do you think? I guess how it was portrayed. Do you think that he was like wrong place, wrong time, or he around the, you know what I'm saying, when you be, people say you could be a product of the environment or whatever and shit, but I mean I've been around, said not that deeply, but you know what I'm saying, I know that you've seen way more of other, but I haven't been around it deeply, like a gunplay, all that shit, you know what I'm saying, but I've been around certain things that where I still be me or whatever. So do you think having the quote hanger-ons or quote friends, however you want to say it, is that something that displayed the action for him to
No, you
potentially
you
do what he did?
learn you possess that kind of power to be able to literally kill people because you want to. You learn that through experience. So at some point in time, he broke through there doing that. Um, I've done so much stuff that people won't know.
Right.
I think we just got a chance to see some of the stuff that he did. So he developed that behavior through experience, um, and was capable because of who he was as a person. Is it directly from what he went through that caused him to do that? Not so much, because in the one instance where he killed the two dudes at the bar, he
Right.
just was thirsty to do it.
Yeah, and I mean how it looked is like
No,
homeboy tried to
that's
stop
how
him off
he
the
was
ledge,
thirsty. He was
yeah,
thirsty to do it. Like homeboy said,
he was trying
when
to.
he shot his boy, he saw him. He like, bro, why is you just beasting? He like, all right, well, there they go. You know what I'm saying? And he was thirsty to do that. So I think he had already learned, whether through fighting or some type, he learned it through violence. Was it through his family? Like I said, it was violence around him young.
Yeah, it's around,
Right.
and he was in the same neighborhood, like being in New England. He was from
Right.
that,
Right.
basically up the road or whatever.
Yeah,
And shit,
right.
So,
So he went from the bad part. There was no perspective for him.
right.
That's why when coach, they was talking like, yeah, we just had to keep him from going back home.
Exactly. Good.
Every time he went back home, he was on bullshit.
Yeah, and I think the agent even said he was like he wished that he went to like L.A. or some shit, so it's not
Yeah.
as easy to, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, to
if
just
you
revert
be on
back
the
to
East
that
Coast,
life.
like if you
So,
across
and
town
what most
or
people
across
don't know is
across
that
state.
like Boston and shit like that, like they gang culture is heavy,
Yeah.
like, and it's built on violence too. Like some
It
areas,
was
and
mob
cities,
stuff and everything too. I
yeah,
mean, like both sides, we mob and street, you know
all
what I'm
that.
saying?
It's built on like a lot of violence, like it's
Jersey
violent,
and all that
it's
shit.
violent. So at the end of the day, he come from that, and then so I think he is a product of his environment. But the only reason you use that is if you welcome that and don't want to change it, then it'll develop in that aspect. So yeah, he was developing as a football player. He was developing as a menace. He was developing that part too.
And he
I
kinda
think his
cut it.
strength and his function went along with that. His his status also put him, so now you in positions that other people can't even be in because of who you are. You getting things other people can't get because who you are. Yeah, that'll make you even feel even stronger if you that type of person.
Right.
And
Or do it fuel the ego, per se?
yeah,
Like do it
for
fuel
sure.
the ego type of deal?
He had a huge one. I think the biggest part of the documentary was hearing him speak. over and over. Talking to his daughter,
Oh yeah,
talking
on the
to his
phone,
girlfriend,
yeah.
talking to now you
And especially
get
how he flexed on his mom and shit like that. That was kind of crazy. But at the same
yeah.
time, I mean, I know he said she did something or whatever, but
She
he was
slept
like,
with
yeah, he
she
slept
got
with
with the dude
the
right
auntie
after her
or,
right after
yeah.
his father.
Right.
So he resented her for that. So I think that's me hearing the way he try to work people or use people, and you can use people, or you can misuse people.
Right.
That's two different things. So the way that he was trying to use and misuse people kind of let me know like where he was at with respect when he always talking about getting out, and then he always talked about like how it wasn't him. Like I know he had to keep those type of that persona going, but in the manner in which he was like using it, I'm like, yeah, this dude ain't all there because it's a lot
Especially
of stuff
with his agent, or his agent, whatever he was talking like, he was really just talking can like he was like just taking a vacation somewhere. Yeah,
he was
like,
he
a
was
vacation or
like,
something.
yeah, he was like, what you think I could have done differently?
Right.
I mentioned that nigga on the phone like,
he even said, hey, no, he said something too. He said something to the matter to the fact of he was like, oh, he asked about some sponsorship. He was like, can I get a gun sponsorship or something? He said some shit like that. Like, he was like, can I get a gun
He was being
sponsorship?
funny,
Like,
yeah.
and he
no,
was really being
dude.
real callous. I was like, whoa.
So
I was like,
you
all
think
right.
this is funny?
Yeah,
huh?
it's a game, huh?
You know what I'm saying? And
Man,
that to me, once again, I think his status elevate him there. It all worked together to create who he became at the end. Because if he wasn't that exclusive person, man, you know how exclusive they treat sport athletes.
Right.
He had been treated like that from how long he been dogging. They said he was sleeping with his high school teammate in high school or whatever.
Guy,
so he
the
as a person, like I always said that about people who are bisexuals, like you got free roam of the whole everybody. Like it ain't like a guy, it ain't like a guy that walk in the bar. You know what I'm saying? You were looking at all the girls like. You gotta walk in the bar. You got picking the whole line. Like you. Your team's too dirty. You like dang, you greedy. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take. I'm not homophobic or anything like that. But that's just a joke that I joke with people who are bisexual. Like you literally got the pickings from everybody. Right. So I think. I didn't like how much they mentioned that.
Yeah,
because I didn't know what relevance it truly had. I think the relevance was the fact that Odin knew.
Right.
I think.
Homeboy knew he possibly could have potentially outed him or.
I think they've had conversations where that information could have possibly happened, but he was instinctive, like. The one homeboy who was at the trial who he shot in the face, he shot him because he was mad at him about the double murder.
Right.
So I told you not to do this double murder shit. You know what I'm saying? Now just because I get an attitude with you about that, you bust me damn near while I was asleep.
Right.
Like you damn near gave me no chance for real to even do nothing, just because you was salty. So I can only imagine like some of the stories that came out before I seen this documentary, it was Odin was gonna out him about something. Right. I don't know if that was it, but I know he had to hush him. It was about hushing dude, and he felt that. The other dude didn't even feel it. To me, he was thugging on the same level as Hernandez. He like, hold up, I'm busting shit. I'm on trash too. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, this ain't what we should be doing. And you know what I'm saying? For him to try to kill him in the way in which he did, that was one of the points in the documentary I was like, oh, this nigga don't give a fuck.
Cutthroat.
Damn, this nigga was willing to do whatever for you. You kill him just because you felt some type of way, or maybe you couldn't have a witness of him knowing and being able to tell on you and look, big ass dent in his head. He still told you on your ass. You know what I'm saying?
And for that, is that snitching? That's not snitching, is it?
In my opinion, no.
That's not snitching, right? Okay.
No.
I was down with that. I'm like, this not snitching, right?
No,
you know
no. Brother, you
exactly.
I wouldn't even be here if you would have tried to kill me.
And
I just would have just been mad at you that you was on some murder shit and was too gully. Now I'm here because the police know you shot me because I had to tell them you shot me. I ain't know if I was going to live or die. Right. I don't know what the situation was. That might be considered snitching in the sense. No, he even said it. He didn't tell the police when he first got shot. He didn't even tell them. So that if he told the police, then yeah, I can see how that could be considered snitching. But when he first got shot by Aaron Hernandez, he didn't tell the cops. He said, "I wanted street justice." He was like, "I ain't want this."
Oh yeah, he did. He did say that.
Yeah. So he ain't even take. He took the what the street niggas consider a fair approach for real, for real. But damn, nigga, you putting me in a position I can't even get out of. Now look at me. Everything come back full circle. To me, that's one of the ghosts that really haunted him, cause that put the credibility that he had cold in that sense. This dude was a brazen criminal on his own. Shit, and you hanging with him for real, for real. You should be hanging with Brady then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. And the way he knew, that's when I knew that he did have sense when Kraft came in, because he sincerely felt he let him down, and he was that to me that bothered him. That's why he was looking like that. Like he was like, damn. Kraft didn't even look at him.
And on the flip side, Kraft ain't look at him, but Aaron Hernandez, it was like it was his father and shit, something like that. He kept looking back, like when they say he was coming in, he kept looking back, turning around.
Kraft kept class act and didn't bury him more than he was already at.
Right.
But he surely acknowledged, he know to himself that you fucking. And even speaking of Kraft, just got caught up as
down in Florida.
But yeah.
Hey man, hey, you want a hand job? Want a hand job, man? Leave him be, man. You good.
No, I ain't tripping about that. I just be tripping how they just make it different for different people. But yeah, he acknowledged. He didn't bury Hernandez, but he didn't acknowledge him either. And yeah, I think that was just I think it's a lot of Aaron Hernandez. That we just got to look into the insight of his story or whatever. They may not make it all the way to the pros, but I think some of that entitlement helped. I think the mix, it was a disaster. It was a storm of stuff.
So wrapping up with this CTE and all this shit, all this mental shit. Shit just came out a couple of days ago. One of our Cleveland Cavaliers at once upon a time, Delonte West, man. Well, I mean, like seeing that, is the video that dude was stumping his fucking head and shit. And, you know, they say allegedly homeless or whatnot, or the quote fall off of him. Like, I mean, how you feeling about homie as far as that? Like his state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Once again, all this stuff is just we just can outside looking in and stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, I can give people a little bit of insight just from being around them guys around the time we was going to the Alchemy. A lot. We was heavy. We was on ecstasy heavy. We was staying up all times of the night. We was drug. We was part of the nightlife shit. We was like little fucking ghouls. And I've hung out with Delonte West and JJ Hickson a numerous amount of times.
Okay.
Not like, yo, Kongo, come hang with us. Like, we got so popular in the club that the VIP I had access to it. And I would see Delonte West in the Alchemy VIP a lot. Or whether it be the Metropolis.
This wasn't the Mirage days, was it? Mirage already down?
It was not completely, I don't think.
Okay.
But I don't know. But I know JJ drove a Maserati, and Delonte would be there with him a lot. Would they hang together? Not really, because like I said, I'm about to speak to it. Delonte was, bro, I was a fucking zombie, bro. He was too. Shit. Like, I can look in his eyes and immediately recognize, like, it's been times where I see, like, girls twerking on dude and he just out of it, just drinking his drink, just looking very similar to how I seen him on the video. I didn't watch the one where he was assaulted. I didn't really care to see that.
I mean, I saw that one. Then they went to the one when he was talking when he was on the curb.
Yeah,
or whatnot.
I went to the one when he was talking.
Yeah, I watched
that
both.
one. So
but it was disturbing, man.
The state of condition of his mind state was, but it was not far. It's not far fetched to me because I've seen him in that same state and condition. Me knowing where I was at, I seen him in that same state of condition in a good position.
Man.
So, um, I think the only difference is the lack of opportunity to be able to keep yourself up, or who knows? You know, maybe he's the reason that the opportunity lack. I mean, you fuck LeBron mama, you probably gonna be a bum in Baltimore or somewhere and stumped in the head. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but me and my boys was talking about Brian fucking public relations team. Like he was never gonna continue to play basketball for sure. Not in the NBA.
Yeah, it was gonna kill that. You saying?
Yeah, that's not
Definitely gonna kill that noise.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he'd have posted that, especially at that time. He'd have posted the boy. You know.
Once I met him and hung around him, I knew like, yeah, he fuck LeBron mama. This nigga fried. So it's fun. And so once again, I agree with everybody. I hate to see him in the condition that he in.
No,
but
definitely.
Just knowing what I know about him from just real true history, maybe 5 or 6 nights out on the town, I didn't seen him in the state of mind that he was in. It's very similar to the state of mind that he was in now. It's just that I just think he was in a better position and was still upkeeping the being I guess a person in the right state of mind. I've seen a nigga fried myself.
Right.
Long before he was that poor monetarily. So hopefully somebody want to help him. And if anything, hopefully we just don't see him suffer the ultimate consequence in the light of all the people. I think that'd be the worst. People gotta die and or get maimed to death or keep maiming them. Delonte West again getting his ass kicked outside in a garbage can. Like we just stop that. Even if y'all do see it, like don't post it. Just help them.
Check. So once again, your thoughts on, and it's a hard segue from there to that, but we had talked about a little bit earlier, and I said wait till we get on the mics to talk about this, like your perception, or it was a post that you had. I could bring it up, but you just can you can just redirect it and re-say it. But like when you were saying your
you talking about the Facebook, the Obama and MLK.
Obama,
if you wanna,
thing,
I tell people
like what's your vision?
Have
your
an interesting conversation with me. Ask me about MLK and Obama.
And so I did. So there you go. So the
right.
floor is yours.
So, I mean, what do we know about Martin Luther King? We know that he was a great man who wanted peace. He marched, got slapped, marched again, got bit, water hose, jail. He always turned the other cheek in the name of Christianity and unity of the black people. He fought for equality. He fought for integration. And that's one of the biggest things, integration. Martin Luther King, the whole thing when slavery was over with is that, all right, if y'all niggas gonna be free, then we gonna be separate. So, yeah, all right, y'all free, but y'all ain't using our shit. Y'all ain't using our water. Y'all can't eat at our restaurants. That's where the Jim Crow and more of that stuff came into play even more, where it was like everything was separate, white folks only, black, all that stuff started. So what black people wanted to do, and we had a great movement in Oklahoma City, Black Wall Street.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
It's so cliche,
and they burnt that
but
shit.
That was the military burnt it down.
Yeah, National Guards came in.
Exactly.
And they even said, like, I just watched one recently. They were saying, like, even though the cats came with the quote, wanted to go to lynch and all that, blah blah blah, but they were saying that it was set to where cats was getting picked off like on some sniping type shit.
Bro, listen, you can go to Philly and look at the move. That the Philly move is very similar to that. I think that was like early '80s or '70s or something like that. I forget, but I've went through it. It's old stuff that I studied. But anyway, So
Philly
Oklahoma,
mode.
right? That was destroyed by the government. And you wonder why all this capital and people talking about what the government. Listen here, bro. In the military, listen here. Military fight against us. We get too lit. But after slavery, we had movements like that. And I spoke to Oklahoma City because that was where segregation was actually working for us. We had not to depend on nothing from nobody who looked at us in a bad way, because everybody who had a bus or a doctor or a vet,
the surgeon,
it was all us. It was all us. It started getting lit to the point like it wasn't just a community that we had for our own. It started bubbling. The bank started bubbling like we was on to something. That's why it was met with the means it was met with. And Martin Luther King whole thing was like, all right, because he was a young preacher for real, and was like the guy that they put up to like, wouldn't nobody else stand up. And he was courageous in itself, but he caught the backing of the same people that had just destroyed, because the United States government was on him. He had these famous friends, and these people was putting money behind them. Martin Luther King was like the most well-dressed, well-spoken young preacher out. He was like the littest rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you not going to have Malcolm X try to represent this counter attack, because Malcolm X talking about do anything you got to do to beat these motherfuckers. Martin Luther King was saying, let them do whatever they going to do. We going to let God deal with that. And that was the perfect scenario to keep black people in the position that they was in. This is why they bought into Martin Luther King, because at the same, what he was telling you was, let them treat you with any disdain that they want, because God.
It was God fearing. It was a God fearing thing,
right?
You can
so it kind of, and I'm kind of anti-Christian. I ain't gonna say anti, but I'm not religious in that sense. I have faith and I believe in God, but I don't believe in the way certain people wrote it. I just believe in my way, right? And so he was speaking through Christianity. So out of Christianity, you just supposed to go through with faith and let God deal with, right? And he gonna make the situation better. And he always spoke with integration, because all people should be together, all colors and races, and we all together. But in all likeliness, it ain't like that. Squirrels don't hang with dogs. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't have to carry a disdain with that. We ain't got to say squirrels is better than dogs. But naturally in the wild, in their habitat, the squirrel and the dog don't hang in the same place. So at the end of the day, the only thing was he was fighting for something that was an ideal. It's ideal for all people to be together and us to communicate and cooperate and all that stuff. And it sound real good. But all it was going to do is to keep the black man docile. So, nigga, let us smack you and pour fucking hot porridge and let us sick our dogs on you, arrest you as many times as we want. But truly, that would just keep us in that position. Now, what happened is Martin Luther King became perfect to speak. Hey, keep talking, nigga, because you going to keep making these niggas think that they ain't got to do shit. Just keep getting fucked up. God going to take care of them. This is the same shit we was telling slaves. Like, yeah, you in this bad position now, but you know, y'all read this Bible and y'all pray and this shit gonna be cool. So we was going right back into that, just on another level. Now Martin Luther King started realizing that was the wrong thing, because he fought for integration so long, we got it, and then we was just getting treated the same way, right. But it was even closer. Now it wasn't even no separation to be. Now I got a reason to fuck with you because you already around me. So what happened was he started noticing that, and he started agreeing with Malcolm X, and he started talking about pulling, and I'm just giving a real rough draft of this, but he started pulling out his ideas about integration and stuff like that. And one of his most famous quotes was, "I feel I've led my people into a burning house," and that was a analogy that he made. And he was basically saying, "Damn, I led y'all somewhere that's basically gonna be y'all demise."
So fuck either way, or.
No, what he was saying was the segregation was right. We should have just stayed to ourselves. We should have never.
So you should have kept it like how down
City. We should have never integrated, because I was on some Jesus God Kumbaya shit.
Right.
I ain't know these motherfuckers just gonna use me to just get y'all closer to just being the fucking constant mental slaves that they wanted y'all to be.
So he was a pawn, basically.
He was a pawn. This is why. Listen. This is why they give you him. Why would the United States government? He spoke against y'all. Why would they make a statue of this nigga? Why would they give him a day?
Took a picture in front of that, by the way. But,
it's a great thing because in all actuality, this was somebody told me, don't take away from his greatness, Kongo, because of what he did. He was one of the first ones to do it, so he didn't know. So the fight that they, like when people talk about voting out, why you gonna vote? Vote this, vote that. If our black people back then really knew what the voting system would be, they wouldn't have spent their time on that shit. They was just the first ones to be like, we want our fucking rights.
Right.
So they was fighting for the shit that they thought was important at that time. But in retrospect, if they can look back, they were like, damn, that really wasn't important either. And we can do that now because we can look back. So yeah, he was a pawn because he was willing to step up and preach Christianity to the masses, and black folks listened to him. But that's the same religion, per se, that enslaved us because it had an enslavement mentality, because it told us we was the people that was damned of the earth, and it was okay because God was gonna save us on the back end. But that wasn't true. That's not fucking true. Like, flat out, as clear as I can say, it's not fucking true. So they was okay with Martin Luther King being so prominent because his ways and teachings would have kept things going the way that they was. And they pitted him just like they did Tupac and Biggie against Malcolm X. Because Malcolm X thing was, nigga, we got guns too.
Right.
Nigga, we'll shoot y'all. Shit, we gonna arm our kids and wives. So they ain't want that because that was truly the revolutionary way to abolish everything. We don't want to work with these people. They have no interest in our well-being.
Is that something like a Black Panther type deal? Is that something like a Black Panther type deal?
Very much so. Black Panther was very much a militia.
Okay.
Where to the fact that we was gonna take
protecting
care of
your own.
Right.
Protecting
that's
your
the
own.
that's the only thing Black Wall Street didn't have was the military.
Right.
Because we felt like y'all feel like y'all need us anyway, so we just gonna go over here and be lit. So why y'all come kill us for? Because our economy was so it
was thriving more than, and they even say it was thriving more than theirs.
And guess what? We was the labor.
Right.
So we was free labor. That's what slavery was.
That too. That's another thing they said about the going to Oklahoma. And if y'all following, I hope y'all following real good. But with the Oklahoma City shit, like what they did because they didn't want their shit. But so what us like to say the black whatever, we was still laboring to them, get paid whatever we got paid for from them doing whatever the fuck we doing then. But we brought that shit back to, or they brought it back to said city, said area, and kept it inside.
That's
there.
That's what you supposed to do now.
You know
that's why everybody be mad. Like, y'all bringing the black daughter to the community. That was the blueprint. They had did it first. They was working for barely shit, and they was bringing that back. And before we even got that during slavery, the only reason the communities was the tobacco communities and the industry was rich is because black people was working for nothing. That's what the revolution. That's what the Civil War was about. Because the people up north were saying, "Hell yeah, y'all gonna do better in the South. Y'all still got all them niggas down there working for free. So of course y'all gonna do better than us up here." That's why they fought like freedom niggas. It wasn't about what black people rights. It was the fact that the Southerners still had the ability to have all this free labor. They ain't have to do shit and make all the money.
Right.
And the people up north was like, that ain't fucking fair. We letting these niggas work with us. We being cool with these niggas up here. Shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was the blueprint. And so Martin Luther King, he didn't know that he was speaking against it because he was speaking in the name of God. And a lot of stuff we do out of the name of God can get misconstrued. And that's what happened. And they used it to the same way they do negative rap music or negative imagery now. They broadcasted it. They gave him huge platforms. They dressed him up well. They put him in the biggest arenas.
So pedestal, basically. So
yeah,
you got
put him on a pedestal, especially in the black community in the church. That's the first one that's raping us because we paying 10% of something we don't even got.
Yeah, the tithes and shit. I still, and I don't really get, like, two things I normally don't do is politics and religion or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, with that being said, but I do that's a thought I always had. I'm like, man, what was this 10% tithe
well, that's
shit?
What most guess why? And this why, and it's a good reason not to do that because it's a bunch of bullshit in them. Yeah. So of course you don't.
And I don't want nobody to sway. I don't want nobody to sway either way. You know what I'm saying? Like with this one, it's an open format podcast or whatever. But like, I don't want them. Because I'm open-minded to what you think or what this person thinks. So it's all opinionated.
Understandable.
So it's all opinionated. But go ahead. No, go ahead.
What exists in them, that's why it's hard to truly have a conversation about them because people usually choosing to side on bullshit. it's a bunch of emotion, and y'all ain't really got nothing to stand on but to say you believe in this side or that side or whatever.
Right.
But MLK was preaching the right things to keep black people mentally strapped in. And this why they give him, this why they keep pushing them to us, because they want us to keep his doctrine alive. But we went way away from that after him. Yeah, and we still uphold him, but we went way away from that. And I'll take way less from Obama. I see you. I put MLK and Obama together. The only reason I put them together because they was false hope. They was false hope together. So black people thought we was getting somewhere because this nigga was marching and getting beat up, but smacked around and arrested, and he kept getting out of jail and preaching again and kept giving his directive and all that stuff.
Right.
And in all actuality, he wasn't really making no strides. And then he was murdered because if you listen to a few of his last speeches, then that's what a burning house. I fear I led my people to a burning house. That was one of the quotes from some of his last speeches where he was talking like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, where it was let's get all our shit together and take it somewhere else. Let's pull all our economic resources out of they shit and put it all into us. And then they was like, hold on, the puppet tripping. Hold on, puppet. You tripping. Hold on. Nah. You gotta go. Because now you using the same voice that we built up to keep this shit the way we wanted it to actually now to do something. That can't happen. So that's why Martin Luther King had to die.
Dude, because that was what was it? It was JFK then, right?
Yeah.
It was JFK. So
Before,
do you,
yeah.
So do you? This because I'll be on
He
conspiracy
did the
shit
same
too. Like,
thing.
dude,
He did the
he
same
he
thing.
got whacked because of.
Well, he did the same thing. He basically became president. He was like Trump in a sense where nobody wanted him to be president, but because of what the state the country was in and what people was calling for, he was the perfect dude.
So he was a talking head. I mean, he was like
he was a
better talking head.
He was an Irish immigrant who had put himself in a wealthy position through their family.
Yeah, but so their family. They said they used to bootleg and shit or something like that. Or,
Exactly.
so they say.
Right,
They,
exactly.
they,
that's
they got it
what
through
everybody did. That's when
you know
it was liquor
during
was
the
illegal,
Depression,
so
all that shit.
That was all right. But he was really fair. He was really fair. Like, for real, for real. So once he got and became the president, he started talking about the shit he was seeing. Wasn't nobody doing that. Everybody that was the president before, for real, was falling in line. Lincoln did that because he didn't want to go with the Federal Reserve note. And he wanted shit to be backed by, so they got rid of him too. But
damn, I don't know if my wife brought it up before, or this Federal Reserve shit too. But go ahead, finish your
because
point.
basically the Federal Reserve is just a private entity that owns the money.
Yeah.
They don't answer to nobody. So instead of our money being represented by something that really has value, now it's just represented by a private group of people that govern over the money of a company of the United States of America.
Yeah, she
right.
She
so
spoke
they have no
that.
rules or regulations, no checks and balances. They print the money, and we owe them 10% on every 10 million, 100 million they print.
Right.
So if you got no money, you the United States of America, I print you $100 million, and now you owe me 100 million 10. Like, how you gonna give me that? That's what inflation is. So I constantly just print money to keep up with the fact that you can never pay me back what you owe me. That's our monetary system is exponential growth of debt.
Right.
That's why our monetary system is based on that. That's why you got credit. Because they willing to let you build that up because it don't really exist. That's it. It's just electronic money.
Right.
Because all the paper money now ain't backed by nothing, so it make no sense. That's why they move everything to cards and chips. Because now I can just show you numbers with the money not actually having to exist in the bank. It's just an exchange of that. That's it. So Lincoln was fighting for them not to happen way back in 1912 or some shit, or whenever they smoked his ass. He still wanted the greenback.
Right.
So Kennedy was the opposite of that. He really didn't want to go to war if he didn't have to. He started understanding that the government ain't the way the country ran. The country ran by this secret government shit. He got a famous speech too, where he started speaking about what people consider today the Illuminati.
Yeah, I think they heard it on Rogan. I think they heard it,
Yeah.
but some he
Right,
touched on
he
that
got
shit.
a famous speech just like MLK started speaking at the end too different. He started speaking differently because they got to let you in. So you like, I remember Cat Williams said one time, he was like, yeah, they seen my perm and shit, they thought I was gay, and then they kind of let me in that way. So when you prestigious like that, like Trump, like Obama, even in his sense, like you got to get let in there, and then you get let in. That's when you start doing your thing. When you start doing your thing, it's either gonna rub people the right way or the wrong way. Kennedy rubbed everybody the wrong way because he started talking about all the shit that was the structure of what this secret government shit was. He started putting it out there.
Hey, it's just like, cause I swear to God, cause these movies and all this shit, man, I
Oh,
think people know. Like,
they
like for instance,
overplay it.
like Scandal, for instance, like we call it B six
Very much
thirteen. You know what
so.
I'm saying?
That's
Like,
what scandal is.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Scandal is the
I'm
public
like,
relations of covering up all the bullshit of the
and
government.
I've been down, like, I mean, not B six thirteen, but I've been down, like, cause of, you know, Capitol Hill and everything.
Right.
I've been under those, some of the scenes that they
Yeah.
makeshift or whatever and stuff. Like, you been under the ground
Yeah.
and going here to go there. All this shit is connected. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Washington D.C. is connected in a good sort of by way underground where you
Oh,
don't have to
very
go.
much so.
You don't have to go elsewhere. You hear me? Like,
Yeah.
but that, I mean, that's a good thing that you speaking upon. Like,
Oh man,
I really believe it's like a beast of that hierarchy of whatever. You know
oh,
what I'm saying? Like,
it's so
higher than the president. I'm saying. You know
Oh,
what
the
I mean?
president
Like,
has, from what
you know,
I've learned and studied, he got uh, I'll just say 10 plus clearance levels over him.
yeah,
Easily.
yeah.
Man, easily. They debriefed think about this. When you come in on that first nigga, probably on that first limo ride to the White House, he like, aliens real. The what's the name? As soon as you hop in the limo, close the door, man. All right, these aliens, this the shit happened. This they debriefing you on shit that you gotta know. You ain't even the real shit. You just gotta know this now because you gonna be around this shit now. When you walk in here, you gonna see this. This is Zufa. We've been talking with this nigga for years. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? So that person is debriefed. So imagine who is the people that's telling the new president what he need to know. Right. These people that's versed in already what's been happening for years. That part of government don't go away. Kennedy spoke against that, and we was in a big war at that time, and he wouldn't fucking pull the trigger, and they need to get rid of his ass. Martin Luther King, civil rights was one of the big way. The black community is huge to the American economy, and civil rights was swaying us in a way to where they was about to lose us again. We was about to go on our own and do good, and Martin Luther King almost took that shit off track. He had to go. The same difference. The false hope in Obama was that the actual government system that never was for us, we believed in it again, and it actually produced us a product of one of us. Right? All right, boom. Now he up there, right? Made not one legislation. The thing, if you get in the office for a person, I don't even care if it's on the local level, what you supposed to do is make laws and set precedents and create legislation. That's hard body things that people have to follow. And that is supposed to help your people out. I don't care what you say or none of that shit like that. You're supposed to create laws to help your people. Obama created not a law to help a black people. Trump has easily done more for things that can affect the black community than Obama. Right. So when I speak on false hope, as far as Obama, and he's popular in the black community because he is one of the last representations of what we have of a black leader in today's times. And he was nothing of the sort. And most black intellectuals believe the same. Because there was nothing that he really did in his position of power that could really help blacks through legislation or making laws or creating and setting precedents in the legal system for the African American. It did not happen. And but he called on us to put him in office, and he called on us to represent him, and he used things like the word change, which resonates with the black community, to once again bring us out in numbers. And he tried to even have us represent Hillary and called on us to represent her also. And I just know that they go along the same lines. He was used as a puppet in a sense. Yeah. MLK is a lot different from him in the sense that I think MLK was doing, even though at some point he probably realized, I think he was doing what he thought was right, and Obama was doing whatever he had to do. There's two different things. So I don't want to take anything away from MLK and the fact that I thought his journey was true and diligent and righteous, even though he made mistakes. I think Obama's journey was mapped out and planned, and his whole intent was to do whatever he wanted to do.
Well, he got a fucking check now, baby.
Yeah, big check.
Videos and books. So
Yeah, big check.
whatever
Well,
plan
yeah.
that was, he eating, I guess. So they
I
eating
know.
and shit. So,
Oh no, he's the most swagged out president. You can sell him 10 ways to Sunday. So yeah, he gonna do good like that until they go. And the first lady, whatever, she do pretty good.
Yeah, she doing it. Her book was #1 for fucking forever.
Yeah.
Speaking of number one,
You busting, man.
we better get about her because I know you got something to do.
Oh no,
I gotta
I'm
make
just
a run
saying.
too.
I'm
we started.
enjoying it.
Yeah. No, we
Yeah,
good.
I'm good,
No.
man.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm learning how to do this. I'm learning how to do this shit a little bit, Jay.
No, it's okay. No, it's good, man. It's a good thing.
No, I'm talking shit. It's a good thing. Well, I ain't get all the way through it yet, whatever. But Eminem, man. What? So I thought you loved Eminem back in the day. Or
I did.
Yeah, Eminem was your guy back then.
I did. I did, man.
The Marshall Mathers LP and everything, because you was one of the first one like that.
Yeah, that's what people
and
don't
then,
like.
Aquemini and all that shit.
Don't
Like,
give me all that shit.
you like no. Aquemini was a big thing that you started me off or started you in our circle or whatever and stuff. Like it was Outkast, Aquemini was one of the biggest ones. And then like Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP. Marshall LP was the first one and whatnot, but
Yeah,
I mean, what you thinking about this album that he just dropped a couple of days ago?
Once again, I don't disagree with people that lyrically do this insane. Once again, I can separate. I don't like to separate fully the man from the music. Like I stopped listening to Lil Wayne more when I see like some of the stuff he was going through, and like I just can't. I can't continue. Like Frank Ocean is a dope artist, but I'm not into homosexuality, so I'm not about to listen to your music.
That first, look, put your pom poms in the air. That's my shit. You know I ain't gonna lie to you.
I bet,
but
whose pom poms?
Before I knew exactly,
right. So at the end of the day, I know some people can separate the man and the music and stuff like that. And I can't.
He did say I'm on your mind, boy, and I didn't even think about that. Like, but the song was so dope and whatever. But anyway, go ahead. I got you. So yeah. So separate. Separating. So all right, before we get to the Eminem thing. So with that question, you said you separate So can you separate the talent from the artist? Like meaning like, so can you separate R. Kelly from being an artist of music?
But in my body naturally, I carry a certain disdain or a certain I'm turned off by him now, so it'll be hard. Like I won't go out my way to not listen, but I don't think I'll go to listen either. So
I got you.
Yeah, with Eminem back then, I was more on his wavelength as far as was the drug use, as far as the self-hatred or whatever. I didn't portray self-hatred, but I could understand what he was saying because I was such a fan of the art form that I was just immersed in everything that he was trying to present about himself, and so I made it my thing to understand Eminem. Damn, his mom ain't shit. That bitch fucked up. Hell, he should take drugs and get high because she made his life fucked up. Like, he should make this song about killing her because who mom would do that kind of stuff to their son? Like, I would verse myself in that to kind of understand where he was coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, why this dude keep making fun of him because he worked at the Coney Island? He ain't got no money. He's just a little broke white boy from 8 Mile. He can rap real good. He should fucking battle and kill you with his battle raps, or he should fucking take his Walkman and choke you with a Walkman on. He should just do all that because he's so dope and nobody understands him.
Right.
And I would put myself in that. I would do that with a lot of artists so I can understand them. And then as I grow as an adult man, I'm like, this nigga act like a bitch. That's because then those behaviors to me seem different. You know what I'm saying? Then I start noticing like, damn, bro, you don't beef with no real niggas. You always beefing with Ariana Grandes and shit like that. Like
Nick Cannon. Yeah. Oh, no, Nick Cannon be coming to him, man.
Yeah, Nick Cannon doing pretty good with the Eminem disses. I think Eminem is making it his thing not to address Nick Cannon. Because I think he actually lost the last battle with MGK. In a sense. That's the question I was going to ask you. Eminem can suffer another did he win, did he didn't. Like either he gonna smoke fucking Nick Cannon or he shouldn't just say anything. But I just think I felt when the music resonate with you, I fell out of that with him because I felt he was super talented, but he just used a lot of filler because we had heard the story so much. What else can you rap about? It's like when people be like, "Damn, that's all rap music now is just this and this and that." Well, for me and Eminem, it's always murder and fucking word tongue twisters and fucking, and it's never the substance that I'm looking for right now in my
Right.
life to appeal to me sonically.
So
So
who you got sonically now? I mean, because like, and I would say that. I mean, well, actually, I asked this question. Who you? But it's a two parter. Um, who you looking at sonically? I mean, new or old or whatever, it doesn't matter. But then I would caveat also because like I'll be the first to say that I didn't know who. I mean, I knew of Nipsey Hussle, whatever and stuff, but once he got slain or whatnot, and just his story coming out of what he did, what he was about, and how he evolved his life or whatnot. But musically, sonically, I didn't know his how hot he was or whatever and stuff. Like, I mean, do you think that was a bandwagon thing to an extent, or you just have to be one of those guys that's touching the touching the music streets or whatnot that like far as a listener or whatever or a consumer?
yeah, first time I heard of Nipsey Hussle was like early 2010s or late 2000s, and I was on my way to Atlanta. I had some promo discs for Giga Gang, and it was me, the Blood Cousins, Collab, LV, who popping out in Cleveland heavy, and we was down there, and Great Wall, who runs Studywood Studios, just buzzing in Cleveland right now. He was listening to Nipsey Hussle, and I forget what CD it was. It's some kind of red CD. I think it's like all red or whatever. Him on the front. And that was the first time I heard him, and I liked the dude because he was talking about. I resonate with gang culture a bit, and he talked heavily about it, and he was just real versed and had like some other stuff going on with his gangster shit. It's kind of like what we hear now of him, but it was a little bit more rugged. And yeah, I think it's the one with
Crenshaw or the marathon continues because 2011.
that one. It was around that time because I said late
Yeah,
2000s or early 2010s.
right. So the marathon continues.
It was
That's
all red, so
2011,
it gotta be that one.
and then 2013 is Crenshaw.
It wasn't that one. It was
Okay.
that one right there.
All right. Well, go ahead. My bad.
But
I didn't cut you
yeah,
off. I was just
so that's when I got hit to him. That's crazy that it's called the Marathon Continues.
yeah, and that's the hashtag that
Yeah,
goes with
that's
that.
when I got hip to him. And did I listen
That's
to
like
him?
life after death type deal. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like with the
Did I
big and shit.
listen to him heavy? No, but I liked it, and so I can understand because we was rappers, underground rappers.
Mm.
So I can understand how you say like, yeah, I think it was a lot of people bandwagon, but the reality is he was really on the verge of his breakthrough.
Yep.
He, the murder wasn't the was the peak of his success. It was the Victory Lap album.
Mm.
That bust everybody. That was his breakthrough. That would if he had more career after, that would have been the point where people would look back when
Yeah.
Nipsey got on it, when he
Gotcha.
plateaued,
So
when he
plateau.
when he
Okay,
broke through.
I got you going up.
So
Got you.
it's okay for people to just hear about him then because for real he was just getting there. He was lit, but as far as the public eye, he was just getting there. In Cali, he was lit.
Right.
He was lit as fuck. In the hood, he was lit. Niggas knew who Nip was. You know what I'm saying? When I heard about Nip getting killed, I was at one of Wiz Khalifa's brother's bodyguard's house. My dude Big Line. Shout out to Big Line. They put on the High Rollers Jiu-Jitsu tournament, him and Mighty Matt. Yeah, I was at Big Line house, who was like security for Wiz. And he, in the middle of the conversation, he like, damn, hold on, y'all. And he telling me some OG Crip dude from out there calling him, telling him Nip got hit up. So obviously, I'm saying that to say he was webbed to the streets. So to me, you had to be versed in some type of underground field to know him before hand. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I don't think it's a bandwagon for people. I think what's crazy is that the Victory Lap album and the love he was getting and about to get for that got trumped by his death, and he was doing so great. I think it's so perfect and crazy at the same time. He was doing so great at the time of his death. It gave people if you know how somebody died and you don't know nothing about him and you go look at him and now you just see all this lit as it was like the best of him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of bandwagon fans because the part that he just left people for see was like the best part of it. It was like the littest part, and he just left. So I think the bandwagon, no, I don't think nobody bandwagon for real because it was weird how it happened.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I prefaced it before, but that my whole thing is I was just like I might. Cause some people are like, oh, fuck with Nipsey Hussle and that. I'm talking about like just say a rather Joe Schmo, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I didn't. I mean, I understand the whole, and like you said, looking back, when that stuff happened or whatever, then I started seeing. You know what I'm saying? Started seeing them, and then so I looked him up. Like I said, I get most of my info when I see a person on an interview or something like that. Then I go ahead and research and be like, oh shit, I like this, like that, in some aspects.
Yeah.
But anyhow, with that being said. God bless the dead. Do you think, cause we bring up gang affiliation a little bit, and once again, I'm gonna put the floor open, then you go from there. Do you think it's still relevant? Do you think like gang culture, and I hate to use the word gang culture, but it is what it is. Like say a Crips, a Blood, a GD, rolling 66, this and that, and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it still a relevant thing? Is it still not a cause, but is it still a real thing? Well, I guess it's a real thing still, but
hell yeah. And I mean, I'll just keep it as simple and just keep it on the same vein as that. You see what happened when he died?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the response of people when he died?
Right.
It was insane. It was insane for days.
And is it dope? Is it dope that to where, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, at first it was so, let's say for instance, like, you know, that's one of the most popular ones, the Bloods and Crips, whatever, but for them to people to intertwine, say the gang, the Nipsey, or who, I mean, whoever. I'm just saying who's quote affiliated with said things. But now they're able to, in some aspects, they're able to wiggle together, make money together,
even
jiggle
for
together.
even for a short period of time. Because to me, that's what haunts us the most about what happened to us past and present is that we continuously had a lack of value for each other's lives. So at the end of the day, if niggas stop killing each other for one day in a city like Los Angeles, just cause in the name of this dude, now it lasts for a week or so.
Right.
You mean to tell me it reached all the way to New York? You got Lion King, Bloods, Crips, and all that stuff in New York tying their flags together.
Right.
Whether or not these niggas go back to killing each other or everybody ain't get the message, some type of representation from these organizations was willing to stand up and say, we call a truce in the name of the blood of this dude. That's huge, bro.
Yep.
That's fucking huge. I just don't think that, and that's why I mentioned today in my network the infamous and notorious men that's in my network, because the drug dealers or the killers' influence is bigger than the politicians in the neighborhood. But we not talking to them. Yeah, it's hard to have a conversation with the dude you want to put away for 20 years. But at the end of the day, his influence is what you need to take your community back. And we need him to have a right mind and the right mind state too, because then ultimately, whatever influence that's negative impact, he can ultimately flip that.
Right.
So do I think it's an important? Hell yeah, because it's some of the only structure that we got in our neighborhoods. And at the end of the day, it's just being used for the wrong thing on a lot of scales. When you got people that's willing to set aside, 30-year beefs, a homicide, just because one man died, hell yeah, gang culture is real and it's big. We just using it the wrong way. And we letting other people use it the wrong way.
Well, I wouldn't talk about it without, I always wait for some of my conversations because everybody don't follow it, and like I said, it's another thing I
It's a
never
lot
been
of it's a
in.
lot of
You know what I mean? So
idiocracy.